Welcome. You are about to take a journey to a place of the divine love within with Deborah Beauvais on the Love by Intuition show. For the next hour, allow her to prepare you in becoming a magnet for a profound love-infused relationship by identifying and focusing on solutions through love. Awaken the light within and let your essence shine. And now, here's Deborah Beauvais on Love by Intuition, all part of the Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Welcome, everyone. Bonjour, mes amis. And yes, here I am, Deborah Beauvais, a founder and owner of the Dream Vision 7 radio network. And if you're tuning in for the first time, we are a Boston-based, fully producing internet radio station. You can listen to us wherever you are in the world. You can ask Alexa to play Dream Vision 7 radio network, and you can listen to us in your car. So what's better than that? Just so you know, go on the site. It's Dream Visions, all one word with an S on the end, the number 7radio.com. You'll see all our glorious hosts, everyone here to have messages for you to make your day, to improve your day, improve your life, and bring some calm to your life, especially in these days. And you can listen to us, by the way, on about 45 or 50 different podcast directories. So if you like Spotify, you can catch us over there. But we're live right now. And let me give you the number, too. Bob is in the house. So you can call in and talk to myself and our guest, Leigh Ann Phillips, and it's the toll-free number is 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200, and don't be shy. So again, my guest, I actually had Leigh Ann Phillips on my show back in 2012, which was eons ago. She is an award-winning singer-songwriter and sound healing educator. She is on a mission to merge sound and music to assist people in leading more fulfilling lives and healthier bodies. She's developed a method of brainwave entrainment through the use of her voice and the quartz crystal singing bowls in the form of sound healing based on research on the brain, as well as the musical system called the Circle of Fifths. You can reach her by going on her site. Leigh Ann is LEIGHNANN Philip with an S.com. So without further ado, welcome back, Leigh Ann.
Oh, Deborah, it's so good to hear your voice, and thank you. Oh, my goodness, it's been 2 lifetimes since we've been together.
I know. And you were in gorgeous Hawaii, but you're now back in Crestone, Colorado.
That's right. And, you know, the beautiful gift that Hawaii gave me was most of my work was in China, Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore, and to actually be able to work in so many different cultures, it was just an amazing experience to know people, to get to share, and I learned so much from the culture. So,
yes, Leigh Ann, actually, your sound is a little. Is it possible that you could hang up and call right back? Everyone, if you just stay with us, because I think it would be a clearer connection if you try again. So while she's doing that, I want to share that she's also an executive director of the Shimmering Sounds Foundation. It's a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to bringing sound healing as a complementary therapy to the masses. The foundation has given hundreds of free sessions to people that could not normally afford holistic health sessions. So that is good to know. She also has currently developed her own line of quartz crystal singing bowls using unusual gemstones to infuse the bowls as well as etching ancient mandalas that amplify the intention of this sacred art through the power of the sound. So she is amazing what she has done and can move mountains just with the energy of the bowls and the music. So let's get started. While you were calling back, I talked about the Shimmering Sounds Foundation and then your quartz crystal singing bowls, how you have created your own line. But let's get started with tell the listeners, as far as when you were awakened to your higher purpose, spirituality, did it start as a child? Was it the music that actually awakened you, or was it something that happened years back?
Oh, wow. Great question, Deborah. I would say that the music kind of saved me out because, like a lot of us, we had physical abuse and things like that, and I would go to the piano, and the piano was always there. So I started playing, I've been playing piano about 58 years, and singing about 60. So always there. Started writing songs when I was 12 and actually went to Tanglewood, not too far away from you, Boston University, Tanglewood, for their vocal program. Back when Aaron Copland and Leonard Bernstein were there teaching, and, you could have sat in a tree, Deborah, and learned. It was one of the most profound experiences of my life was that summer at Tanglewood. So I would say my first real awakening experience was astral projected over my crib at the age of 2. I remember floating over my crib, and I think I had that experience so that I could feel who I really wasn't the little baby in the crib, but this other being that was watching this experience. And so I started pretty early, around the age of 19, when I moved to Arizona and started spending more time in the desert, hiking, swimming, and I just have been on a path ever since, and I really didn't know what I was seeking until probably about 20 years ago when things really started to unfold. So I hope that's a adequate answer.
Well, it's a perfect answer because it's coming from your journey and your soul, and it's who you are, because we all have a unique imprint of who we are. Even though we're, as you know, we're designed and interconnected with all, we're unity, we're everything together, but yet we all have a unique stamp about us too. So
we do.
Now, when you started the music, was it more of the music that you create now, or did you start with pop music? I mean, where did it... I know when you went to Tanglewood, naturally it's at a different level, but early on, what did you gravitate to?
Well, I was classically trained in piano and voice, but I started writing songs pretty early, and I actually wrote a song when I was 15 that I think my higher self was trying to get me to understand things that my conscious mind just couldn't wrap my mind around. So it was a combination of the classical training really opened up the door to be able to know chordal structures. I studied orchestration, advanced music theory. It was a really rich time where I really got to study and learn about music. But I would say, it's kind of like the music that you love. I mean, what kind of music, I'm curious, Deborah, what kind of music did you listen to as a kid?
Oh, gee. Well, back in the day, I listened to a lot of Beatles. Um, and earlier on, we didn't really, it was, you know what, it was my mom and dad's music. Back in the day, it was, I remember Teresa Brewer. That's a name that comes up when we were very small. Nat King Cole. But as far as it was usually as we got a little older, I had an interesting childhood, as probably you have and many others. So there wasn't a lot of joy, and so it was a little different. And then I gravitated to music, much like that you play, in the last, 30 years or so. So, and a lot of times, you can be taken to another dimension, as you know, because that's what you create, with this type of music, where you just have to stop in your tracks and be with that music. So tell us what you've created and what you teach now, with, your blending and, the method of brainwave entrainment. Tell us about that.
Well, since you and I got together last time, I have found that the music it's like I'm being sent the intention of what I need to write. So Michael, which I think came out right around when you and I talked last.
Yes.
Yes. So since then, there's a gentleman by the name of John Stewart Reed who followed in Hans Jenny's footsteps in the UK. And Hans Jenny proved that music sound creates matter. And so I got a call out of blue from John saying, well, we listened to your music at the breakfast table, and I'm doing this study about red blood cell production. Would you be okay if we included your music in the study? And what he was trying to do with another gentleman, a scientist from Rutgers University, was they took a vial of blood and they put that in one room, and that room just received silence. And then they had another room with the same person's blood in another vial, and they tested different sounds and music to determine if it would affect red blood cell production. And so, I didn't realize at the time, Deborah, that red blood cell production is really a big part of immunity. It's not just white blood cells. So from this study, they tested white noise, they tested classical music, rock and roll, and Michael and a couple other people's albums. And it was determined if you listened to Michael for 20 minutes, it increased red blood cell production 18 times, which was one of the higher ones in the study. And that really kind of set me on fire to realize that, my gosh, music really can affect you on a cellular level. So I also was a part of a white blood cell production study with John. I have not gotten the results back from that. But I would say that this really put me on a mission to be able to help people with music instead of just create music that I thought people would enjoy. I wanted it to have a purpose. And so the work in China, I was brought over there because there was so much trauma from people who lived through Mao's revolution, people who went through starvation, families being torn apart, really deep stuff. And then Taiwan was connected to a nonprofit where they wanted to teach people how to play the bowls so that they could help with not just peace, but they wanted people to be able to have this as a healing modality. And Singapore and Malaysia were similar. It was the same nonprofit that brought me to each one of these places. So I would say since you and I spoke last, there's really been a mission to create audio downloads or albums with a specific purpose for healing, because the science is now showing, yes, it actually does affect the body in a positive way on a cellular level. And just like you said when you were talking about Teresa Brewer and, the Beatles, they create a feeling. And so many times when you can actually feel music in a positive way, it can really uplift the consciousness, not just affect the body. So I don't know how else to put it, Deborah. I don't want to ramble, but...
No, you're not.
And then probably the other album that has made a difference, because I have not been able to travel as much since COVID, is I created an album called Removing Negativity. And that was designed as a sound healing session to help people release not just trauma, but stress. And because what happens is that just like if you went for a massage and you're getting therapeutic body work, it's cumulative, right? So if you get enough massage on a regular basis, your body starts to shift in a positive way. It's the same way with sound. So when I go to bed at night, I'm usually playing 6, 7, 8 different tracks that either help me sleep, help remove the negativity from the day. So there is no separation from the physical and the spiritual. And I find that music is actually a way to have those two come together in a palatable way. Everybody likes music. Most people listen to music.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? It brings so much peace, I think, and so, and even some of the, like with the singing bowls, it brings you to, they talk about when we're on the other side in the light, that the music there is so profound. I mean, profound isn't even a term that would describe it. And the singing bowls, I think, is a touch of that, or it can emulate what it could be or can be, but it's just more magnified on the other side. So I think it heals. It could heal a war. That's what I think. If people could tune in and feel it, it could bring peace from these wars that are being created. So. One of the things that I'm interested in is the healing piece, because people don't realize how much the body can heal if we help it from all kinds of different things, diseases and such. And I know your music makes a difference, and I know, for the people that are listening, if you listen to Divine Music Sundays, Leigh Ann's music is there every weekend. All kinds of tracks, including the Mikkel one, I believe we have with what is the. I'm trying to think of some of the track names. They're usually fresh in my mind, but not right this second. Well, we're going actually into a break. Leigh Ann, would you like to? What we're going to do, listeners, is Leigh Ann's going to share something profound and divine, and then we're going to hear a couple of minutes of one of her tracks as we go on. So share, Leigh Ann, right now, and then we'll go out with your music.
All right, wonderful. Well, I'd love to actually sing a prayer. It's called the Miracle Prayer, or the Anabakoach, and it's 2,800 years old. And Life magazine, back in the 90s, did an article on this prayer and found that if people heard the prayer or memorized it, literally miracles would happen. New engines in the car, being rescued from a mugging. So I would love to just hum a little bit or sing a little bit of this, if that's okay.
Sure.
Another cold, Kichilaya Ninja to Tezera. Kaberana Tomsha Sabanu Taharanura Nakibodo Shri Yukateka Kavavat Shamram Vakan Taram Rakamate to see Kateka to meet Gamlan Jasim Kudush Baruch Tuvkana Helada Tika Lakivka Elam Chapanezo Kre Kadusha Tika Shavatanu Kabel Ushmaza Akatanu Yodeata Alamot Baruch Shem Kavoma Kuto Leila
Experience a different yet profound healing with Reconnective Healing. Includes yet expands beyond any and all known forms of energy healing. The Reconnective Healing spectrum is comprised of the full healing and evolutionary continuum of energy, light, and information. It allows for healings that are not just physical, not just mental, not just emotional, yet go beyond that to bring healing that includes the evolution of your very being and essence. Deborah Beauvais, trained and certified by world-renowned Dr. Eric Pearl, offers appointment hours at Seekonk Family Chiropractic in Seekonk, Massachusetts. For questions or to set up both distance or local sessions, call Deborah at 508-431-1959. Again, 508-431-1959. Or go to lovebyintuition.com. That's lovebyintuition.com.
Calling all authors. Have you been considering an audiobook? Well, look no further. Come take advantage of Dream Vision 7 Radio Network's unique in-house audiobook production, which includes benefits and bonuses from our radio station. Let our knowledgeable staff guide you to create the audiobook you've always dreamed of without breaking the bank. Check out our full one-stop service from A to Z, including the ACX process. Schedule a free consultation by calling 508-226-1723. That's 508-226-1723. Or go to dreamvision7radio.com.
After narrowly surviving the attack on Sandy Hook Elementary, first-grade teacher Caitlin Royd DeVellis was left searching for answers that would never come. Eventually, she chose to focus on questions that could be answered. How do I make sure this tragedy doesn't define us? How do we get our control back? Those two questions led her to found the 501c3 nonprofit organization Classes for Classes. When gifts poured into their classroom, she decided they would help someone else by paying it forward and being kind. This developed into a social network which allows K-8 classrooms to connect so that every student in the United States can learn these crucial lessons. Classes for Classes' mission is to build students' social-emotional intelligence by connecting them to care. All C4C projects are crowd-funded. Any teacher in the U.S. can visit classesforclasses.org. That's classes, the number 4, classes.org. Sign up today.
Delight your kids with an enchanting journey by reading the Paper Doll Kids Children's Book by Deborah Beauvais and Janine Sullivan. There's even a catchy tune, Kids for Love Song, produced by Bob Sherwood and sung by kids just like yours. The story weaves around 7 paper dolls flying around the world doing good deeds as they bring important attention to our endangered animal friends. There's even a magical ring with a universal message. Kids become interested in service projects, action through compassion, and planting seeds that nurture positive change. The Paper Doll Kids and Kids for Love Song are a production of the Kids for Love Project. Get the book now on Amazon Kindle and the song on CD Baby or iTunes.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
And we are back, and I am with the amazing Leigh Ann Phillips, who is a singer-songwriter and a sound healing educator. To get in touch with Leigh Ann, you can go on her site, LeighAnnPhillips.com. Leigh Ann is LEIGHANN, Phillips, Philip with a S.com. And Bob is in the house, as I mentioned. I want to put the number out just another time, 833-220-1200. Don't be shy. Call in with a question or a comment. We'd love to have you. That song is one of my favorite that Bob played as we were going out to the break. Could you talk about that as well as what you were singing prior to that track, because it was very moving?
Oh, thank you, Deborah. The prayer basically can be heard if somebody passes and they go to a higher or a lower astral world. This prayer can help them get back on track, depending on where they're trying to go. It can help somebody as they are transitioning. If they're here and they're going through their dying or transition process, it can help. It's like having you can bless food with it. You can do anything with it that's considered of the Sephiroth or constructive energy. It's an incredible prayer, and I would encourage anybody interested in it to go back and see if they can find the article in Life magazine that has just story after story of what people experienced by either hearing the prayer or reciting it or memorizing it. So that is the miracle prayer.
Is that in one of the tracks?
And Deborah, your question was about the track that you played right before the break?
Yes, but before you share that, the prayer that you just described, is that in a track on one of your CDs, or how is that? Or
No.
is it something that you share when you come together with a group?
I usually recite that prayer during either a private sound session, or I do a sound healing bath every Monday evening. I usually recite that prayer there. I do it as part of my spiritual practice. If somebody calls me and needs prayers for somebody who's needing healing, I'll recite this prayer. Because it can travel dimensionally. It's one of the few prayers. You ever notice so many people are praying, but not everybody's prayers are heard. And I find that this prayer increases the chances of your prayers being heard, because it's such a divine, powerful prayer. So that's that prayer. And then go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know. I'm sorry, because I'm failing it. And you mentioned something that is equally profound that we don't really talk about when you said not everyone's prayers are answered.
I find that there are certain prayers called divine world prayers that, however it works, and I really don't understand it, except I can say that the sounds within these prayers actually are the energy and vibration of what they are trying to bring in.
Okay.
So you are literally activating your wish through the sounds. And I can share with you that in Russia there was a scientist named Garayev that discovered that he actually translates language. So this is part of why certain Tibetan Buddhist prayers, or prayers in Aramaic or Sanskrit, that the cells translate those languages. English is, in general, not one of those languages. It's a language of business, trade, barter. There's exceptions. But there's something about these languages that actually activate what I call spiritual DNA. So, you know, we've been told that 97% of our DNA is junk, and that is just absolutely not true. But when we practice or recite mantras, invocations, or prayers, that tends to activate that spiritual DNA, and now it is working on our behalf instead of being dormant. And I think this is why.
Yeah, I love that. Go right ahead.
No, I was just going to finish that with the first track you played. That album is in another one of those languages that I believe activates spiritual DNA, and that is from the album Michael. And I really feel that the reason there's so much red blood cell production increase is because of the combination of, and this is what John Stewart Reed said in his study, is that it's a combination of the voice, the tracks, in this case the piano and bowls, and also the rhythm. There's something about rhythm that activates red blood cell production. Because, Deborah, you're going to laugh. Rock and roll actually did better in this study than traditional classical music. And it's because it had such a deep, penetrating rhythm. So Michael, the words in that invocation, and I actually did this album because I thoroughly feel in my heart Archangel Michael saved me in a really bad car accident. And I wanted to pay homage to the fact that he is real and do this album. So these words, Od Kome Mahita Nobeloha Zodien. Od Kome Mahita Nobeloha Zodien. I feel just from the study and my own experience of these words that it somehow activates not just red blood cell production, but spiritual DNA. And this is why I feel, especially in this time, how important it is to do meditation, spiritual practice, whatever lineage, tradition resonates. It's just so important to do something. Does that make sense?
Yes. So, you know what? I just feel we're in a time, it's a very sacred time where we're actually evolving, and it's painful, and many people may not stay on the earth as we're doing this evolution. And so your music and your divine world prayers are so important for all of us to listen and to hold, so that we can elevate the love that I always talk about, that vibration, that frequency, so that everyone on earth can feel that and choose love instead of a weapon, or choose instead of harming. We come together in community and make a difference. And, do you feel that your music now is being more received than maybe 10 years ago?
I just wanted to comment on what you said about these times, Deborah, because I really feel you're right on. I feel like things are actually getting better. It's just that all of these things that have created, chaos, pain, and suffering are coming to the surface so they can be seen and let go of. And then underneath it, there's all of this incredible, and this is going to sound a little out there, but I can tell you since February 4th, when I meditate now, I can see light underneath the earth. Like if I'm sitting outside and petting the dogs, I see light. And when I've just asked in meditation, what is going on? The message I got was that the earth is going through her own enlightenment. She has been trying to get a certain number of human beings to help her, because the earth herself is the surface of the earth is her conscious mind. So if there's enough of us that are doing practice and trying to raise our vibration to be able to support her through either, if this is her enlightenment, or what's also called right before enlightenment, an illumination of consciousness, then we can be a part of it, and we can also help her. So between the earth changes going on right now, and also these incredible solar flares that are happening, M6 solar flares and, X solar flares, it's like we're kind of in between. And we're being asked to kind of bump it up. And I do feel like some people, particularly have gone through a war, are choosing on some level to leave, and others are going, you know what, I don't really understand everything going on, but I feel like I'm supposed to be a part of it and help. And my purpose is whatever it is, right? Whether it's reconnective work, Reiki, music, all of us have a purpose, whatever it is. And so I am just so grateful to be here at this time. I feel like all of us that are really feeling this incredible opening right now this is why we came here. This is why we're here. So I feel like each one of us is being, maybe people are more receptive to whatever that purpose is, because each one of us, whether we're conscious of it or not, and we've decided to stay, we're trying to raise our vibration.
Right. Beautiful. And yes, in this music that you have created even years back, I feel before the time, like you could say that you were before the times of what was needed, or feeding into that frequency of what we need today, and more people need to hear the music so that they can not only the red blood vessels can thrive, but also connect with that spiritual DNA and raise the love, raise it, because there's so much work to be done. I always think of there's so much work to clean up the earth, to clean up the oceans, to clean up everything, clean up ourselves. There's so much work to be done. We don't need to take time for war or killing each other. We have so much work to do in another, in the most important area, because that's why we came. We came to teach. We came to be, and I just hope that everyone can do that shift inside, and then there will be no more wars and things of that. So, I mean, when I think about it, Leigh Ann, and then we have to take a break, but it's been coming to me lately, and I even said it the other day, we have evolved, and we're too spiritual to allow the low, heavy, crazy stuff to happen. And we're just too evolved to be in war. It's beyond, we're so beyond that. We're too intelligent for that. I just wanted to say that. Anyway, we'll be going for a break. When we come back, Leigh Ann, do you want to do another Divine World Prayer?
I would love to do that. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So we'll be back after a quick break. Stay with us.
Take a journey to a place of the divine love within with Deborah Beauvais on the Love by Intuition Show, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Eastern. Our message is love in the purest form. The light within us all is a guide to recall our beginning, to learn to love self and humankind, and to feel the higher power of our own divinity. To attract love, one needs to be love. Come join us and step into this glorious vibration called love.
Delight your kids with an enchanting journey by reading the Paper Doll Kids Children's Book by Deborah Beauvais and Janine Sullivan. There's even a catchy tune, Kids for Love Song, produced by Bob Sherwood and sung by kids just like yours. The story weaves around 7 paper dolls flying around the world doing good deeds as they bring important attention to our endangered animal friends. There's even a magical ring with a universal message. Kids become interested in service projects, action through compassion, and planting seeds that nurture positive change. The Paper Doll Kids and Kids for Love Song are a production of the Kids for Love Project. Get the book now on Amazon Kindle and the song on CD Baby or iTunes.
Are miracles real? Can you move from mayhem to miracles? 30 prominent authors say yes as they share their high fives and down lows of challenges, abuse, addiction, and love. Experience hope, the magic elixir of miracles, through the personal stories of New York Times best-selling authors James Redfield, Dr. Bernie Siegel, Sister Jenna, Reverend Temple Hayes, and many more. If you like bestsellers, chaos to clarity, and crappy to happy, you'll love crying and laughing through mayhem to miracles. Sacred stories of transformational hope. Available now on Amazon and in bookstores worldwide.
It's a child's job to play, to learn, and to have fun. It's an adult's job to keep them safe. Did you know that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused before the age of 18? Every day, families enter the Children's Advocacy Center because a child's courage to tell someone what happened to them. Keeping our children safe starts with a conversation. This is Michelle Aranger, Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Center. Learn more on how to keep your child safe. Visit cacofbc.org. This message made possible by the Fall River Rotary Club.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
And we are back, and we are ready for the next Divine World Prayer.
Oh, thank you, Deborah. So this one is called, thank you. This one is called the Usnisa Vijaya Dharani, and is also known as the 72 names or names of God. So within the prayer, the frequencies of the words are 72 ways that you can address the Creator. And it's in Sanskrit, and humbly, it was worth coming on and connecting with you just to share this prayer, because it's so benevolent. It helps animals elevate. It helps humans elevate their consciousness just by hearing it once. So it'll take me a minute, so just hang tight. Here we go. Namo Bhagavate Trilokya Pradadististaya Bhutaya Bhagavate Saryata Om Visudaya Visudaya Asamasama Samantava Bahasa Spaharana Gatigahana Hava Visude Abhasikatumam Sugatavavakana Amirta Abhasakai Mahamantra Padai Ara Ahara Ayusandarani Sudaya Sudaya Gagana Vasude Usnisa Vijaya Vasude Sahasra Rasmi Samgodite Sarva Tathagata Avalokani Satparamita Pariparani Sarva Tathagata Mati Dasabhumi Pratishtite Sarva Tathagata Hirdaya Adastita Nadastita Mahamudre Vajrakaya Samhatana Vasude Savavarana Apayardagati Paravasude Pratinavataya Ayasude Samaya Adastute Mani Mani Mahamani Tatata Bhutakuti Parasude Visputa Buddhisute Jaya Jaya Vijaya Vijaya Smara Smara Sarva Buddha Arasite Sude Vaji Vajagarbe Vajam Bahavatu Mama Sariram Sarva Savanam Kakaya Paravasude Savagati Parasude Sarva Tathagata Sinkame Samasavasayantu Sarva Tathagata Samasava Arastite Buddhaya Buddhaya Vibudaya Vibudaya Buddhaya Buddhaya Vibudaya Vibudaya Samanta Parasude Sarva Tathagata Hirdaya Arastita Narastita Mahamudre Svaha.
Wow. Where are you when you're sharing these prayers? Like, are you just elevated yourself in that space, in that dimension?
It feels more like the prayer is speaking me. It doesn't feel like I'm reciting it. It feels more like, I remember when I memorized this a long time ago, maybe 17 years ago, I would start to hear the prayer playing in my mind, and I realized that it was my higher mind dictating the prayer to little old me here in the 3D. So I hope that answers your question, but I do feel otherworldly. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. What I'm thinking of right now is everyone that shares this particular episode with others and then re-listens to it themselves, they will feel that from these two prayers that you have shared, as well as the music. So they will, and they can go on your site and they can purchase music anywhere, correct? Your music is everywhere.
It's for sale, but the prayers, and I do have prayers on some of my albums, but these two prayers that we that we shared today, Deborah,
Mm-hmm.
if people did just listen to those 2 prayers each day, they would find that less chaos would happen in their 3D world and more peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And right before the break, you were talking about how we really are above war at this point. And there was one thing I wanted to share today before our time is up, because I know so many wonderful people that are doing great counseling work, healing work. I mean, you can heal on so many different levels. But I find that sometimes people who are doing magnificent work are still using swear words. And I find that swear words are kind of the prelude to whether it's to some kind of chaos, pain, or suffering. So I would just encourage people, no matter what you do for a living, where you live, if you could refrain from those words. It's almost like invoking a darker energy. And I think when people feel not empowered in their life, they will tend to use these words more, because there is a power in these words. It's just unfortunately a dark power, and they're even translated by the brain differently. So normally the language is translated through the left or logical brain, but when we curse or swear, they actually are integrated with the gestalt or right hemisphere of the brain, because most of the time when people swear, they're pretty emotional when they do it, and they don't feel empowered. So I would just invite people, because a lot of times people don't even realize they're doing it when they are, because it's just kind of coming out without them thinking about it. But I think a precursor to more peace in the world is just to refrain from those words. Just let them completely. And I was very humbled. It's probably been about 20 years since I've used any of those words. And I noticed pretty much within a week, I wasn't losing my keys anymore, or my wallet, or no more fender benders, or, relationships got better. It changed the playing field where I just wasn't bringing in subconsciously chaos, pain, and suffering. So I really did want to share today. So thank you for allowing me to share that.
I thank you for sharing it, Leigh Ann, because what you're saying makes sense, and what you're saying is truth. And it does have a power. I've experienced it myself. Years back, I decided that I wouldn't be using those terms like I did previously, because it didn't seem to match with me. It just didn't seem like they went together. But I have to say, on occasion, lately, some of those words have come out, and I know where they're coming from, like you're saying, and then I get upset with myself as to why that just came out. But I also know that, they are heavy, and they do come when things are happening, but how to shift it is exactly what you're saying. You don't use them even when you're in that stress mode, and never at someone, for sure. And I think the culture that's out there now, because it's elevating the hatred and the separation, that we have to be even more aware of what we're participating in and make a conscious decision not to go into that direction at any given time. Yeah. So it's it's a interesting time that a lot of different things bubble up. But before, we only have like a minute, and I wanted you to share. You're on March 13th. You are going to be in Buena Vista in Colorado, and you're going to be doing. Tell us about it. It's all about calming the nervous system, shift the brain waves.
Yeah, this event that I'm doing is at a very renowned yoga studio, and the woman that owns this, Jenna, she is just amazing. She brings in people all the time, and I'm just really grateful that she's allowing me to bring the bowls. So I'm going to be playing about 40 quartz crystal singing bowls like a piano. And so more and more I'm focusing on the music within the sound, because people tend to allow that in more than if I just say, oh, this is sound and frequency, and oh, it's going to make you feel better. That doesn't really work for some people. So if you just let the music do the work, and if you can imagine when you're listening to any kind of music, Deborah, it doesn't really matter what, as long as it's beautiful and peaceful and harmonic. Your skin is basically the border. It's the border of the external world and the internal.
Even here, I don't feel it pull back.
So when you actually allow that music to enter your skin, and you can just feel your pores before you go to a sound healing event or a concert, it's easier to allow the external world and the internal world to find that place where there is no separation. So that the more you shift the internal world, the more the external world reflects that back. So
exactly.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. And everyone listening, we have to run. I want to make sure everyone passes this on, past this particular episode. Listen to it. Listen to those 2 Divine World prayers and let it shift within and inspire you to be everything that you are, to serve others. And until the next time we come together, Leigh Ann, I'll have you back. Everyone, au revoir.
Bye-bye, Deborah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you seeking a clearer path to love? Then tune in to the Love by Intuition show next week. All designed to your highest good. To contact Deborah Beauvais, owner of Empowered Connections, call her at 508-226-1723. That's 508-226-1723. Or link on to lovebyintuition.com. Remember, we are all one, and we are all part of the miracle of love.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.